When you study and research it in the Greek, it's imperative. He said, he who is without this sin of adultery, let him cast the first stone. And they dropped the rocks. Instead of throwing their rocks, they dropped them. Because the least they were guilty of committing adultery in their heart. They dropped the rocks and walked away from the what did it say? From the least to the greatest? The least had more sense than the greatest. They dropped it, the hero dropped that rock. All in one motion. Someone probably turned first and dropped the rock like that. Got rid of that rock. Moving right along. Okay. When the priest has made the wife drink the water, the bitter water, then it shall be, if she, talking about the wife, has defiled herself and behaved unfaithfully toward her husband, that the water that brings a curse will enter her and become bitter. So the water doesn't become bitter unless she's guilty of adultery. And her belly will swell. Her thigh will rot. And the woman will become a curse among her people. But if the woman has not defiled herself and is clean, then she shall be free and may conceive children. So he's saying if she's been guilty, not only will her stomach swell, she'll become sterile. She won't be able to have children. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? This is the law of jealousy. Ooh, the law of jealousy. When a wife, while under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles herself. I'm going to tell you something, it's still a curse today if we continue in sin. The Bible says there remains no more sacrifice for sin. If we continue practicing sin. If we continue practicing sin. If we continue practicing sin. That's what it says. Continue practicing. Those are two key words. Not if we sin. Because John said if we say we have no sin, then we lie and do not practice the truth. Right? Amen. So he said, be faithful to your husband, be faithful to your wife. Jesus has paid for it. Jesus paid the price, but don't go back and be like a dog that returns to his own vomit. Or the pig, rather, to wallow in the mud. Okay? Verse number 30. Or when the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man and he becomes jealous of his wife, and sometimes you can just be paranoid. But the days we live in now, good Lord, sometimes the way sisters dress, the way wives dress, it's a shame in my opinion. That's my opinion. Sometimes wives can dress where not only does it dishonor her husband, it dishonors your children. When your children are walking beside you and look over across equal to mama's, what you call mama's behind, derriere, and she wearing hot pants. And you looking at, don't you think that would affect the child when he look over and mama got on hot pants? You ever see your mom in hot pants? Some of y'all wasn't even raised in church and never saw mama. My mama ain't never been in no hot pants. I didn't know anybody's mama that wore hot pants. Whatever they call them today. Daisy Dukes or whatever they call it today. It's like, that's shameful. Moving right along. Where did I stop? Verse number 30. Let me read it again. And when the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man and he becomes jealous of his wife, then he shall stand the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute all this law upon her. Then the man shall be free from iniquity, but that woman shall bear her guilt. She shall bear her own guilt or iniquity. Okay. Let me see. Chapter number 6. The law of the Nazarite. Chapter number 6. The law of the Nazarite. Now that's why I noticed he just went there with the wife and went right on, didn't he? I told you he did it. Didn't I tell you that? So now you may not, don't leave the church if you don't agree with it. But just, we could even have a little dialogue about that. We could agree to disagree, or maybe you can change my mind about it. But I noticed he just kept right on going. He didn't deal with the men. I don't fully understand that. I'm looking at Pastor Margaret. She looked like me. She got the answer. Because sometimes you do need to ask a woman. Amen. Especially a woman in leadership, because she's been pastoring as long as I have. So I'm sure she got another perspective, which y'all will probably hear next week. Okay, the law of the Nazarite. I respect that. I honor that. I really do. The best thing to do is just don't commit adultery. Just stay true to your wife. Stay true to your husband. That's the best thing to do, and then you don't have to worry about the law of jealousy. You don't have to worry about the water being bitter. You don't have to worry about your stomach swelling and your thigh rotting. Okay, we don't have to worry about that now. Anyway, we're under the new covenant. But the devil will put something on you, though. The devil will put something on you that's worse than a rotten thigh. He got HIV and AIDS and all this other kind of stuff. Okay. Chapter number 6, verse 1. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when either a man or a woman consecrates an offering to take the vow of the Nazarite. Everybody say the vow of the Nazarite. Okay, and the literal Hebrew says, makes a difficult vow. Ooh, a difficult vow. He said, this is a difficult vow. The Nazarite vow. To separate himself to the Lord, not from the Lord, but to the Lord. He shall separate himself from wine and similar drink. He shall drink neither vinegar made from wine, nor vinegar made from similar drink. Neither shall he drink any grape juice, nor eat fresh grapes or raisins. Now, one thing this does prove that that grape juice and wine ain't the same. Come on, somebody. It proves that they had sense enough to know the difference between grape juice and wine. That wine is wine and grape juice is grape juice. Amen. Right? Moving right along. Okay. Verse number 4. All the days of his separation, or all the days of his separation as a Nazarite, he shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine from seed to skin. All the days of the vow of his separation, no razor shall come upon his head until the days are fulfilled for which he separated himself to the Lord. He shall be holy. Then he shall let the locks of his hair of his head grow. Now, I mean, no, most of us let our stuff grow, it wouldn't be no locks. It'd be naps, but no locks. Somebody have dreadlocks. I guess it would be locks, wouldn't it? It'd be some dreadlocks, wouldn't it? That is locked. That is some locks in it. It's just locked real tight. All right, but it's real tight. I ain't messing with you back there. That's all right. Okay. But that's locks, though. We ain't messing with your locks. It's still locks. All right, but it's locked real tight. No, I'm just okay, verse number 6. All the days that he separates himself to the Lord, he shall not go near a dead body. Now, I want you to think about this when you study, when we get to the Judges and you read about Samson. You'll find out that Samson did everything that he was not supposed to do. He broke every vow. He was a Nazarite from birth. So was Samuel. So was John the Baptist. But Samson broke every vow of the Nazarite